Accent and idiolect. Accent and idiolect are both distinct forms of language or language variations possessing unique qualities. They are important aspects of language variation, as you would see in the preceding sections. Accent. Accent is a form of language variation that is peculiar to a particular geographical region, social class or cultural background. It is a phonological variation of language that is unique to a group of people, marked by intonational distinction from speakers of other languages. Take for example, in British English, there are at the end of a word, like water, is not articulated, while in American English, it is articulated. Now this just goes to show how people that speak the same language can have a phonological variation in their articulation, and this is majorly influenced by regional differences. Also, accent can manifest in the tone used in articulation by different speakers. Take for instance, most Nigerian languages are tonal, meaning that every syllable that make up a word is usually stressed, while the English language is intonational, having one syllable take up more emphasis in a polysyllabic word. Not only in tone but also in stress, Nigerian English differs from Standard English in that content words are usually stressed in Standard English. Take for instance, it's my book. The content word in the statement above is book. This is because it can express meaning individually. If this statement were to be articulated in Nigerian English, every single word would be emphasized. It's my book. This is because Nigerian English is syllable timed, unlike Standard English, which is stress timed. In simpler words, accent is the unique way a specific group of people speak a language that distinguishes them from other speakers. Hence it distinguishes speakers by articulation by virtue of belonging to a group. Accent does not only vary by region, but it can also vary by social group. Take for instance, people that belong to a higher social class in a society, say the United Kingdom, will speak the British English with more dexterity due to their position in society. They live in the same region as those in the lower class, but they have a slightly different articulation of the language due to their social class. Another factor that can lead to phonological variation in articulation by a particular group, apart from differences in region and social class, is cultural background. People in the same region may have different cultural heritage or belong to different ethnic groups, which can influence the way they speak. Take for instance, people from Wales have a different accent from those with a cultural background in Scotland. Idiolect. Idiolect is what I like to call personal language variation. It is the variation of language that is unique to every individual, such that no two persons have the same idiolect. Idiolect is as varied as people are. Just as everybody has a different personality, they also have unique ways of using language that are peculiar to them alone and nobody else. Take for instance, Mary and Mercy are twins. They are so identical that it is often difficult to tell them apart. However, they speak differently from each other, and Mary seems to be more fluent in her speech, while Mercy is more conscious of the grammaticality of her utterances. This just goes to show that idiolect is limited to individuals, and it goes beyond the ambits of pronunciation, extending to other aspects of language as vocabulary, grammar and syntax. No two persons have the same amount of words in their vocabulary. Vocabulary is the totality of words a person knows and can use. This is because people have different levels of exposure to language, and they acquire new words in different ways, ranging from reading, to watching movies, interacting with people among others. So they acquire new lexical items through these means, which they add to their vocabulary, hence distinguishing them from others in the way they use language, that is, their choice of words. Also, the way people structure their sentences can vary from person to person. Some people may be more inclined to speak in the declarative, while others may use more of imperative sentences, and the degree of usage varies. Some persons are more knowledgeable of the rules of their language, so they make use of more grammatical statements in their utterances. Again, the degree varies. Finally, some persons may be more creative in their use of language compared to other people, and this can vary on different levels and influenced by a number of factors such as level of education, exposure, natural abilities, etc. So both accent and idiolect are variations of language with distinguishing features. While accent borders on the variation of language of a group of people based on phonological features, that is, the way they speak, idiolect focuses on individual variation of language in terms of how every person uses language differently to express themselves in terms of phonology, lexicology, grammar, syntax and even pragmatics. See you soon.